Hello folks, and welcome back to the channel where it's always 1985. Seriously though, why would anybody want to live in 2025? Have you seen it? I've seen it. I don't like it. I'm going back to 85. So today we're getting back to the JVC DD-7, which is, since it's 1985, it's only about 3 years old at this point, but there's a lot wrong with it that we have to deal with. But before we get back into the transport, I wanted to show you exactly what I've been doing with the rest of it in the meantime. On Tuesday, I decided to go ahead and start working on the controls of this thing. I took everything off the board and polished and cleaned everything the same way I did as the DD-99. Had some drama with that, like these tape type switches. When I got them back in there, they were locked up solid and I couldn't do anything with them. So I had to take them all back out again and figure that out. So that was fun. But everything's done. Everything should be fine now. But I did have trouble with this output level control. The potentiometer and back, I decided to take it out and take it apart and polish it the same way I did the rest of the controls here. But as it turns out, one of the contacts in there was not attached anymore. So what I basically had to do was I had to take part of the contact assembly there, the plastic, you know, the little carrier that holds the contacts in place. I had to melt it over in order to retain the contact back in there properly. And I'll show you a picture of that if I remember to do so. But I think it's working. If it's not working, I'll have to bypass this with resistors or something, but I think it's working. But just real quick before we get to the rest of the transport over back in yonder direction, I'm driving myself crazy again because I went on the Japanese auctions this morning and I found 2 rare Technics unicorns. Can't believe it. I've been looking all this time for one of these decks, and it finally shows up right after I buy the ZX9. Unbelievable. But the 2 unicorns I'm referring to, one's an RSB 100, which is apparently the best deck Technics ever made, according to some people. Not sure how accurate that is, because I obviously don't have one. But the other one is the even more rare unicorn, and it's a RSB 900. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that model or not, but it's basically a limited edition RSB 965. That's basically what it is. And this is the first time I've ever seen one in the Japanese auctions. Literally. It's the only one since I've been doing this channel. And no, I'm probably not going for it. In fact, no, I'm definitely not going for it because the seller wants $2,100 on a buy it now for that deck. And it's guaranteed that it's probably going to go up to at least $1,000 in bidding. And if I know some of these sellers in Japan, if they don't think they're getting enough money for their tape deck, they will cancel the auction and relist again as many times as they need to in order to get what they want from it. That's exactly what happened to that auction ZX9 I was talking about during that reveal. Like the first time it went up for sale, it went up as high as $900. Seller canceled it, relisted. Enough about that. Let's get over to the transport now. But first, I don't know, while this thing's up here, I think I'm going to recap the meter board. Because I got to get down here and I got to clean this control as well. I forgot to do that. Okay, so we're back into the transport today. So, first thing we're going to have to do is get this door off so that we can actually get any work done. So I'm going to put you here. And I think this is going to go the same way as the DD-99. I'll eject it first. Let's see here, what do we got? Let's get that arm out of the way first. Let's see, I don't think we have to disconnect this. We've got a pin in here. Okay, so it's 2 pins either side that's holding that door on. So we're going to have to loosen up this panel again, and that way I'll be able to get this... well, first I'll have to tighten it again once I get the door off, and then I'll be able to mount it in my little test jig I made for the Double D99. So let us do that. We'll just loosen this a little bit. We just need enough slack to get the door off. And yes, I know I would love to go ahead and buy that RSB 900. Been watching for those for years now. But it's just not in the cards right now. Am I even holding any cards? I don't think I am. I'm also not wearing a suit. And have I said thank you once yet to anything? Thank you, Screwdriver. Thank you, viewers. Well, now I have. Anyhow, speaking of cards, I got something to show you. So how many of y'all know that Nintendo used to be a playing card company before they were ever a electronics company? You want to talk about holding cards? I've got all the cards right here. These are really, really cheap to get from Japan. They are dirt cheap over there. Very high quality cards. So as you can see, I am now holding all of the cards. And at least 4 different suits. So maybe that means I can buy a really expensive tape deck? No, not really. Anyhow, I got 2 of these 2 decks of Nintendo playing cards. Shipped with some deck or another, and I love them. I don't really play cards anymore, but it's kind of nice to have. So, uh-oh, I put them down. Now I'm not holding any cards. Now, when it comes to the transport, these are what I have for idlers on this one. These are the Chinese ones. And I've done some measurements, and only one of these 4 is good enough to go inside this deck. The others are all kind of oblong, so I hope they work out. I do have this other idler here that I got for the Akai GXR88, but I don't think it would work any better here than it did there, so I'm not going to use that one. However, I did get the idlers in for the new idlers in for the GXR88, and one of those might actually work in here, but that's not what it's for. So I'm basically reserving both of those idlers for the GXR88 because I may need both of them for that deck. So let me get this mounted up and we'll pick back up again. Alrighty then, now we can work on our transport without worrying about other various things that might have to be worried about otherwise. So this is the side with the clutch in it, so let's get my temporary belt off for the counter. And I guess we'll do this first. Let's see. Hopefully I can get this apart without making it so I can't reuse this hub cover. Ideally, JVC wants you to replace these when you're into one of these, but where are you going to find a replacement? You're not going to find a new one, I'll tell you that right now. Alright, I got that one off, and hopefully it's reusable, because if it's not, I'm screwed. Okay, off comes the reel table. See if I can get my belt out of there now. And yes, that is why it's difficult to string a new belt on here, because you got these brakes right here, and you got to sneak the belt past them, and it's a pain. So I'm checking the idler. It's actually not all the way gone yet, the idler, but I'll replace it anyway. Now there are some differences with this transport compared to the Double D99. I think the Double D99s is a little better because it's a little more refined, but on the 99 you've got this little gear over here that's driven by the take-up reel table, and it's connected by a belt to a little plate that's underneath this side, and it's kind of weird the way they have it. Basically, it turns that little metal plate in the opposing direction as to what this is going in, and then there's a little magnetic clutch in there. It's kind of weird, but kind of cool at the same time. Anyhow, I need to get this one off too. It looks like there is a magnetic clutch, or a felt clutch in this one as well. I don't believe we'll be servicing that one, but I'll just see if I can get the cap off this guy as well. And that was easy. Possibly too easy. Ah yes, there is a little felt clutch in there. But like I said, I'm not doing anything with it. But there's also a bigger felt clutch inside here that you can kind of see. At least I hope you can see it. I can't see what you're seeing right now. But yeah, there's a little felt clutch in there. I'm not doing anything with that. The problem this thing was having was with the take-up torque. So I'm just going to pull this off yet. And the spring, because I want to clean all these shafts and lubricate. Just using a Kim wipe for this. Lots of yucky old grease coming off this. And this is just isopropyl alcohol, nothing else. Okay, that's that. So we'll get to working on this felt clutch. So this is going to be just like the Double D99. It's all friction fit together. Pull this little pulley off the bottom. Remember the way it goes. The flared side is towards the reel table. I've got a spring on top of that I will put up out of the way. Oh, and we had something come off. It's kind of a washer of some sort, it looks like. I hope it's not actually part of the reel table assembly. It's got a little hexagonal shape to it in the middle there. And then this comes off, and there's our clutch right there, it looks like. Oh, actually, there's more than one clutch. Or more than one little bit of felt there. Let me put this back together for a second, and I want to see. Yeah, that is kind of slick, so we'll replace both of these if we can. How do I get this thing off the top here? See if I can just pull it apart. Yes. Okay, yes, there's a little bit of a pin in here. And then there's this spring, and then there's this big black spring. So the way you put this together, you just do it like this, and then this spring would go on. I hope you can see what I'm doing. And then this all goes on top of that. Weird way of doing things, but must be effective. And there's another one of these weird little washers with the hexagonal cutout in it on top as well. Okay, I'll just put that down like so I can keep track of what goes where. But yes, I guess we might as well just replace both of these felts here. That would be the plan anyway. So we got to figure out which felt to use out of the kit. Let's see what we got here. $11mm internal, 19mm external, and this will be 1mm felt. Let's see which is the best use for this. I think that's probably it right there. Yeah, I'm sure that's it right there. 1.1 millimeters thick is what that one is. So we need 2 of those. But first we got to get the old ones off. So I'm going to try to peel them off with my fingernails, which aren't working. And as mentioned, these are peel and sticks, so that they will just go right on. And if you're wondering where to buy this felt kit, it's We Have That Item on eBay. They indeed had that item. So that's good. Let me just do some cleanup here. And we'll open up yonder felt kit, because we're going to need some stuff out of there. Okay, we need 2 of these 19mm ones. Because there's 1 on each side. Okay, so we are ready for 1 felt. So just go ahead and peel the backing off and stick it on there. I was worried I would have to go get the contact cement to adhere these to the spindles when I first got this kit, but no, not necessary. Everything we need is right here. Okay, now you tell me, does that look about the same thickness as the old one? Because it does to me. Now I'll just do this other side, and hopefully I can move on to doing some hardcore transport service. And we got to replace that felt on the other side of the transport too, the one that provides back tension for this. Okay, and that is done. We have officially serviced the felt clutches in this thing. That one's a bit off center, but it shouldn't really affect much, I don't think. Remains to be seen if this will do anything to help the take-up torque on this machine, but we're literally doing everything we can for it, so that's that. Okay, folks, so before we get into the rest of this transport, by the way, I'm not sure how much of the transport service I'll be showing on video, because it is very much like the Double D99, but I do have a new counterbelt on here now to replace my temporary one. The new one is a 0.7mm by 164mm internal circumference belt. Let's see, I think that's right. Yeah, that's right. So that's what you got to have for this. I've checked it. It is turning the counter just fine. And this is with the brakes on too, so my felt slip clutches are working, at least so far. And when I hold on to the belt and stop it from moving, I'm still not getting any slippage in the slip clutches in there. So I think it's probably going to be a lasting repair on that. So we'll see what that does for the torque numbers. But in order to deal with this other felt we got to replace, the head block has to come off. So just taking a look here at what I got to do for that. Looks like I can leave the pinch roller in place for now, but probably all I can do for now. So I'm going to undo this ground here for the head block. Just leave it lying like so. There's a spring to release, and I think I'm going to do that through under here, because it looks like it's a little easier to snag afterwards if I do it this way. Maybe I'm wrong. I can do it from up here too, but I don't think I'll be able to grab it from underneath as well. But for now, I guess I'll just disconnect it that way and let it flop around under there. The lube in this transport doesn't seem like it's that bad, really, but we do have to replace this felt, so we're going to do that. Now, the head block has to come off. We'll pull this screw first. Unless said screw doesn't want to come out, and it doesn't. This might actually be stripped out or something. I don't know what's going on with this. Let me pull the other two screws first on either side. See, it's coming up when I turn it, but it's not coming out. Or is it coming out? Yes, it is coming out. Okay. So let me just... oh, that's not a screw at all. Or it is a screw, but it's this post. It didn't come out of the post. So I'm going to have to glue this post back down when I put this back together. But for now, I need to get this screw out of there. So how I will do that is I will grab some pliers. I'll just grab onto the body of the post. There we go. Now we got her coming out properly. Take that screw and put it there and put that post there, and we'll grab this washer here and put all that stuff up by the transport where I can keep track of it. Now this post has to go back in, but first I will do some cleaning because it's got old grease on it. Honestly, I'm not sure if I want to glue that, because that's how you take the brakes off on this thing. At the very least, I should consider lubing the brakes up before I do that. But yes, this is the transport. You can compare it to the Double D99 from here. Not a lot different going on in here. I will have to take all this stuff off and re-lube it, and this arm is cracked again, just like the Double D99's was. So yes, and then there's this felt we gotta replace. We might as well do that now. I'm just gonna drop this this pin back in place here. That's where that goes. Okay, now the felt. Remember, this is the back tension brake for this mechanism, so this has to be in good shape if we want best wound flutter out of it. So I'm going to try to get this felt off now. It's really not good anymore. Let me get my acetone. We'll see if we can dissolve the glue that's holding it on. Yeah, I don't think I will glue that post back on. I think that would be a mistake. Okay, people, here it is. Got as much cleaned off as I could in this area, so hopefully it's ready for some new stuff. Now we're going to have to figure out exactly what we're dealing with here for a measurement. I don't know if this will work or not, but See if I can do it one-handed. Probably not. Looks like a 9mm strip. So 8mm should probably do the trick, I would think. So we're going to need some felt, and we're going to need some this stuff, contact cement. This is flexible plastic adhesive, so hopefully it does the job for me on this one. Now, felt. Here it comes. 1 felt, 2 felt. And I'm presenting it this way for a reason. The reason is so I can sit here and say with a perfectly straight face, "He who felt it dealt it." Okay, you can stop groaning now. Anyhow, I've got 2 different kinds of felt here. These are both from thefeltstore.com. This is their sample bags here. I've got a selection of F-50 and F-51 here. And there are 2 different thicknesses in here. One is 3/32 of an inch, and the other one is 1/16 of an inch in both packages. And this is the package we're using. This is the package we need, because that's what came off there, I'm fairly sure. And we're going to go with the thinnest stuff there is, because I do believe it's the correct thickness, the 3/32, this stuff. So we need a 9mm strip of this cut off. So I'm going to take my nice cutters here. I'm going to replace the blade because this one's getting old. We need a nice sharp one for this. So I'm going to use the blade of another knife for this. An old beat up one that doesn't work very well anymore. So we need 9mm. This is probably not the most accurate of a cut I'll ever do. 9. And I think we're good right there, so let's cut a strip. Just cut the barest minimum of a strip here that I need to do the job. I'll just go like that, then I'll trim it down once it's glued in place. I did get the thinnest one of the felt samples, I think. Okay, let's see how this fits. Is this going to work? You betcha that's going to work. Okay, so now we got to apply the contact cement and get this glued in, and I think I'll do that off camera just so I can concentrate. Well folks, there it is. New felt pad is installed. I hope it works. I don't see why it wouldn't, but we'll find out for sure the hard way, I guess, if it doesn't work. I think I gave this enough time for the glue to get settled and whatnot, but I guess we'll find out. I trimmed it down as best I could on either side, but can only do so much with raw felt like this, so hopefully that works. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go off camera, and we'll probably come back on Monday to do more stuff. I may do some of this cleanup and re-greasing off camera right now as well, but for the most part, I would like to leave this sitting like this until Monday to give this glue time to really cure and stuff. So that's that. Okay, I just got done all the re-greasing I'm planning to do today, and it occurred to me I need to let you guys know about something before I go off camera and then come back on Monday. First off, on this thing here, both sides of that needed epoxying, so that's been done now. Seems like it's moving freely. But the one thing I wanted to mention, in case I didn't do it in the DD-99 video, which is about the same kind of thing here, watch this spring. When you pull the capstan motor out of one of these, this spring is going to release. There's one side up over here. It's pushing on the actual capstan mount or whatever. And then the other side goes right here where this hook is. So if you pull the capstan motor out of one of these things, make sure you come around to the other side, pull the head block off, and put that spring back in place. Or maybe you can do it from the other side. I don't know. It would be very difficult from the other side. But in my case, I had to pull the head block anyway because we're dealing with stuff under here. But I just wanted to mention that. Okay, so I skipped today, and now it's time to, I guess, try and finish this up now. I'm still not entirely sure about my felt pad here. It is kind of shedding a little bit, so we'll see how well it works out, I guess. If it doesn't work out at all, I guess that's fine. I've got the double D99. I can still use that to make my test tapes, but whatever. It may work, it may not. I think it will actually, but for now, I think we're going to move on to the idler. And then after that, the head block. And I think that's all that needs to be done on this thing anymore. I'm fairly happy with my counter belt, the new one. And I think the new felt clutches inside the take-up are going to work. So we'll just see, I guess. And I should say that I've already oiled the shaft of the reel drive motor off camera. So we won't be doing that today. We'll just pull this idler assembly out. There is a spring on the bottom to note. It fits into a little thingamabob up here. See if I can show it to you. That's where the spring goes, right there. So, yes, let's see what we can do for this idler. Got to admit, I don't really feel like working today. I decided to take the rest of the weekend off. I started this on Saturday. But then my favorite actress of all time passed away yesterday, so I kind of don't really feel like working. And if you're wondering, my video last week is a bit of a clue. I mentioned I was doing a Doctor Who marathon. And my favorite actress happened to be in 3 of those adventures. Jean Marsh, a.k.a. Bavmorda from Willow. That's where I first saw her, and I've been obsessed with her career ever since. Let's see, is this the good one? 1.9, 1.9, 1.8. Oh, that one might be the good one. 1.9, 1.9. Yeah, I think that one is the good one, but I'll just measure the rest of them to be sure. Anyhow, you want an actress with range? Watch any episode of Upstairs, Downstairs, any at all, and then go watch Willow or Return to Oz. That woman could act circles around anybody. And she was married to John Pertwee as well, who was my favorite doctor in Doctor Who, so there's that as well. But yeah, losing Jean Marsh so soon after Val Kilmer, kind of a kick in the head if you're asking me. So I'm going to be watching Willow on Friday to remember both of them. I'm just wondering, do I take this apart and work on it? I think I will take a look at the slip clutch under here. I'm not going to like trying to pull this little split washer off, but I think I will. Give it a go anyway. Hopefully I don't lose anything here. And that one went flying, so I heard it go off to my left behind me, so I'm going to go look for it. You're not going to believe this, but a little box elder bug helped me find the little guy. It was sitting right next to one of those little critters, so thanks, little box elder bug. Your reward is not being sucked into the vacuum cleaner for a little while. They're more of a nuisance than anything, but I guess this guy's wanting to be helpful today. Teeny little spring there. Looks like there might be a washer in here. And there is. So the spring goes between two washers. And there is a felt clutch right there. Seems to be in good shape, but there's some debris on it, so I will clean it. Actually, that looks like a sintered bushing in this thing here. But I don't want to use oil because we don't want any oil getting onto the felt clutch over here. Okay, put the new idler on first, I guess. Seems to be fitting well. It doesn't look oblong in any way, but it actually is kind of loose. Maybe I should abandon these Chinese ones and just go for the ones I bought for the GX-R88. I didn't want to use that second one for this transport, but maybe that is the thing to do on this. And here they are. They are smaller compared to what's in here now, but it looks like they'll work. And these came from turntableneedles.com. First time I've ever ordered anything from them. Probably not the last time though, because these guys are awesome. So let's get one of these out. They feel better than the Chinese ones. 2.0, 2.0, 2.0, 2.0, 2.0, 2.0. I'm sensing a pattern here, and I'll show you the part number on this. STC.591. These are the only idlers I could find in the entire world that are right for the GX-R88. Fix Your Audio does not have the idlers that deck needs, unfortunately. He says he's planning on stocking up on idlers for this transport, the JVC ones that I'm working on right now, but I don't know if he's gotten that done yet. He's kind of running a small business over there, so I don't want to put too much pressure on him. But I will use the PRB idler, or the extra PRB idler in this transport, I think. It is on there. So let me just take a quick measurement here just to refresh my memory. 17.0 for the old one. 16.8 for the new one. Will that make a difference? I'm thinking probably not, but we'll take a look and see, and I'll leave the Chinese ones out in case I need to throw the one on there. Anyway, little grease on this one. And this should be ready to go back on now. Little smear of molly coat in there. Spring. If I can grab the spring and put it on. Moly coat on spring, washer number 2, and then the retaining washer. And there we be. One idler done, and we'll grease up this little post as well, because it has to ride up and down on the in the shaft in there. It's probably a bit much, but we'll pull some of it off. Okay, that should be ready to go back in now. Not the easiest idler assembly to get back in. But we'll get her done. Okay, that looks like it's gonna work. Now, let's see, what do I need to do? Well, I need to put some moly coat on top of the pin there. This one right here. Because that's what controls the height of the idler. And what else? I didn't clean the motor pulley. I'll just do some iso alcohol and just scrub it. Okay, I don't think there's too much to do on this head block. The heads need cleaning big time. And the head block needs cleaning big time, but there are no extra linkages like the WD-99 had for music search, so that'll make this a little bit easier than before. And I'm taking a look at the pinch roller spring here. Fits into this little notch down here, and that's what holds it, so this is not going to be difficult to service this pinch roller. So E-clip comes off. And pinch roller comes off. We'll just leave the spring down there. And before I service the pinch roller, I'll go ahead and clean this up. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about my decision to use the extra GXR88 idler on this. It's clearly a superior product compared to the Chinese one. It's just now I don't have a spare one in case the other one is no good. So that'll be unfortunate, but it'll have to be what it is, I guess. Okay. Head block is ready to go back in, actually. I can even do it now before I service the pinch roller, but might as well just do the pinch roller off camera here. This one does look a little bit cracked and glazed, so this might actually get the new pinch roller I'm saving for it. We'll see what I can do with this one. So I'm going to do my new procedure here, and I'm going to use acetone to clean it first, and then we'll go in with a soap and water and wire brush after that. See how it responds. First I'll go over it with the acetone on camera, and then I'll go off camera to do the soap and water thing, if I think it'll respond to that. And this one's looking iffy. This one's looking like it may not respond as well as the DD-99s did, but it is kind of responding. I just don't know if it's responding well enough. Okay, folks, I am not happy with the original pinch roller. It did help, it did clean up some, but there's still a little bit too much cracking in there for me to be happy with it. So I'm not going to throw this away, but I am not going to put it back in the deck. This is the size you want for this particular transport. It's the same as the NAD from a couple of weeks ago. So I'm glad I still had one roller in that size. Well, actually, I've got 3 in this size, but this is the only one I had left of the Fix Your Audio version. I have some other Chinese rollers that would work as well, but probably not as well, if you know what I mean. Just a little dab like so. We'll just put her back in the arm. If we can make our hands and stuff coordinated. Okay, so we got to put this back on the head block here and clean the heads and reinstall the head block, and I guess that's about all this deck needs from here. A little iso alcohol to the pinch roller shaft. I don't know why I keep putting away my iso alcohol, because I'll probably need it again, but I will use acetone to clean the heads, so I'm not going to worry about it for that. Okay, little molly coat should do the trick. And where did the spring go? Definitely want this back in there. Put it like so, and I'll put some molly coat on the spring as well. Where that arm contacts it. And that should be good. I'm not sure if this deck will come anywhere near the double D99 for WoW and Flutter, but might as well do what I can for it. And that should be good. And we'll have to remember to put some grease on this little black area here, as well as these sliders. Okay, head cleaning time. So your race head might need a little pass with the polishing compound. I'm not too worried about how well this deck records, because I don't need it for that, but it would be nice if it recorded well. Now, I'm not satisfied with the erase head right now, so we're going to do a little bit of a polishing pass on that one. And I think we'll get the record and play heads as well. It's not going to take much. It's not that bad on this particular transport, but we'll do the record and play first. Doesn't take a lot of pressure to do this, just enough to go a little scrubby here. That should be all we need to do there, and I will reuse the same Q-tip, and I will go over to the erase head. And I've already polished all the control buttons on the front panel. I probably did not mention that when I gave you the update on that, but it's been done. Okay, that should do. There's all the gunge that came off that. So we got to clean up real good now. We got to get that polish off there. And I got to remember to demagnetize these heads as well before I put the deck back together. Ooh, nice and shiny now. I like that. I'm going to go over the heads one more pass here. Just to make sure any polishing compound is off, because I don't want it to stay on. Okay, that is ready to go back on. Or at least it should be. I forgotted something important. I forgotted that I put that little screw back in this area. I also forgotted that I put the screws back in on the sides where the slider is. So this won't go back down until I take those screws out. I also forgot to molly coat back under there as well. That's okay, we can do that. It's easy. It's one side already. Now we'll get the other side. That's probably a bit much, but in that area, I don't think it's going to matter. I'll just take a little bit of the excess and put it up top here where that other little thingamadoodle goes. And now all we got to do is put that screw back in up here, and we're off to the races. That one won't be able to be fully tightened because of the looseness back under there, but you can just kind of see how this mechanism works. When the head block moves up to play, the idler goes down and runs the bottom side of the take-up spool, or take-up reel. Just a little bit more grease there, I think, is called for. That should do it. We should be done. Are we actually done? I don't know. Have to put this thing back in the transport and see if it works. Well, that didn't make any sense. Have to put this transport back in the deck to see if it works. That makes more sense. Just taking a look, is there anything I'm forgetting? It looks like my felt pad is gonna probably work. I don't know for sure. I should mention I did clean and re-grease the eject mechanism over here. It was kind of binding up. Still is a little bit, but not as bad as it was. I did not use my molly coat there. I used my Lubriplate 105 there. So that should be good. I didn't want to use my expensive molly coat on an area where it's not that critical, so Lubriplate 105 actually works well enough to actually do the whole lube job, but I've got the molly coat, so I've been using the molly coat. Let's see, anything I forgot to do under here? I don't think so. I didn't lube this, but I don't think it needs it. I did clean the two switches under here. There's the record prevention switch. That's this one. Then there's the cassette presence switch, which is this one. I got both of those cleaned up with some contact cleaner. I got it sprayed down in there in both switches, so that should be good. So I guess I'll go off camera now and I'll put this transport back in the deck and then we'll see how it works. Okay folks, the transport's back in the deck and we're about to find out exactly how well it works. I didn't look into why these LEDs are so dim yet. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find that issue or not. Not sure if I even really care, but we're going to find out here how well this is working. So let's fire it up and see what happens. Does we gets the magic smokes? Okay, so far so good. I don't see anything smoking. I'll put my test tape in. I forgot to reconnect the damper, so we're gonna have to watch that, I guess. Now I've got some new music on here now. I decided I was tired of the same old songs that I had on here that were vaporwave, so I got new stuff on here. So I've got audio connected, so we'll see if... Okay, I'm gonna have to do something about this damper. Give me a second. Okay, now let's try this. Locked is lit up, so should have a capstan working. I can't really see it. Oh yes, I can. It is working. Motor's running. So let's get in close and we'll see if the transport works. Sure is. And you know what? We're getting both channels too, so I must have gotten this control fixed properly. It sounds really good. So, how's about we find out whether or not it's got enough torque now? I'm a little nervous about putting the torque tape in with the brand new felt pad in there because I don't want to contaminate this tape, but we need to do an after-service check on this to compare. Remember, this was 10 grams per centimeter originally. And now we get 40. Back tension is about 4.4 to 5 grams per centimeter. Transport is working perfectly. I am so pleased about this. So we have a success here. We managed to get this back into factory torque specifications. It sounds great. It's working great. I'm very, very happy. So the only thing I need to do yet is align the azimuth, probably align the circuits because I did recap the entire meter board on this one. I didn't do that yet on the DD-99 because I didn't want to mess with it at the time, but this deck has been fully recapped. There is no old capacitors left in this deck, so everything's been done on this. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go off camera, probably spend Wednesday doing the alignments and stuff, and then I'll see if it records and if it needs further work after that. Well, folks, remember that felt clutch I didn't replace inside the supply reels? Turns out I got to get back in there and do that, because watch this. There is no rewind torque. Fast forward is fine. Rewind, not so much. So I guess I gotta get back in there and replace the slip clutches on the supply side now. Great. Okay, so I got the other slip clutch replaced in the supply reel, and it did help, but it's not fixed the problem. It still struggles towards the beginning of a tape. It's doing better, but it's not perfect. I think the problem is the counter belt. Because if I go back here and I help it along, no problem. So I'm going to say just go a little bit looser on the counter belt than the one I used here. Let's see, I can't remember exactly what I used in there anymore because this deck has been such a long process, but I'll put it up on screen. What I would recommend possibly trying on this deck. I don't have a belt that's loose enough to do the job and yet not so loose that it won't turn the counter anymore, so just keep that in mind. It's playing wonderfully though. That means it's going to record wonderfully as long as the recording circuits are working. So I think I'm happy with this the way it is now. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I just don't have another counter belt I can try in there. So yes, that's going to have to be the way it is for now. Once I get more 0.7mm belts in, then maybe I can get this working again properly. But until then, this is going to have to be the best it gets. So I just realized I haven't checked the wow and flutter yet, so we're going to do that real quick. Okay, folks, are we ready to see what this thing does for wow and flutter? I know I am. Kind of nervous about this, but I guess we'll find out the hard way if everything works or not. But should mention I have found some extra issues to talk about. First of all, the noise reduction circuits do seem to be working. I can engage them. It's just these lights don't light up. I must have missed something with the one contact in there, but the switch is double-sided. There's one contact in there to turn on the lights, and there's other contacts to switch in the circuitry, and the circuitry does appear to be engaging, so I'm not too worried about that. If it were a customer deck, I'd probably want to pull these things out yet again to fix that, but this is my deck, so I don't have to worry about that. And these LEDs are all dim anyway, so who cares? By the way, I have looked into that. I've checked the supply voltage to those LEDs, and there's nothing wrong there, so not really much I can do there except replace the LEDs, so that's about all I can do there, but let's turn this on. But yeah, you can see that the indicators do work. They're just very, very dim. Anyway, like I said, not worried about that. The other issue is I'm not going to be able to do the azimuth alignment just yet. I've been listening to this a little bit, and it seems like the high end in the audio comes and goes a little bit, which tells me that the tape is likely riding unevenly past the new felt pad in there. So I think it has to break in first before I can do the alignments, and we can find out how well this thing records. I'm anxious to see how the Super ANRS stuff works myself, but that's going to have to wait a while. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to put this into regular playback for a little while, just to hopefully get past that, and then I can do all my alignments and stuff. So let's find out what we got here. Deck is fired up. We've got the T100 software going, and we're going to start with the Fix Your Audio reference tape. I need to know what this runs at for speed in order to make its own test tapes. Remember, the speed we get up here is the speed I have to, not the speed, the frequency I get off of that display right there. That's the frequency I have to feed back in order to get 3 kilohertz out of it. So let's see what we get. Let her settle in. (3019 hertz, 0.040% wow and flutter. That's good, but this transport is capable of better than that. What we are basically seeing is the wow and flutter of the deck that recorded this tape, which is a TC-K666ES. So we'll shut that one off and we'll go to the DD-99's test tape. This is the one I'm real curious about. Okay, here it is. It's going in. You probably can't see that, it's out of focus. Remember, this deck has not been running long this morning, so it might get better over time as the deck continues to run the capstan motor. Who knows? And I'll remind you that the DD-99 is using Andorol 456 for capstan oil, or capstan bearing oil. This one's using the new compressor oil, so anxious to see where this goes, so here we go. She's playing. Oh, that's the stuff right there. 0.017%. 3017.4 hertz. Rock solid speed. Good Lord, this transport's good. We have a 0.1 hertz variation in speed here. You cannot be more impressed with this than I am right now. I am so happy with this. This will be great for making its own test tapes. Oh, we're going up to 0.023% now. The world's ending. Okay, I can't decide from this which is the better performing deck for WoW and Flutter, this or the DD-99. But this is very, very impressive. Extremely impressive. So I am very happy with the results of today's deck refurbishment, or this week's deck refurbishment, as it were, or this 2 weeks of deck refurbishment, because I've been doing this for a while, or working on this for a while. So there's your results. This deck is going to be great for me for what I need it for. It's a nice extra deck for whenever the DD-99 can't make a WoW and Flutter tape or a speed test tape. So I guess that's going to be it for today, guys. See you in the next video. Take care.